are.
I mean, the moment you've been waiting for. Get out your phones if you're here, but buckle up. Thrill of a lifetime. The United States Air Force Thunderbirds about ready to start their ground show. You start to see it there. At some point here, we're going to turn it over to the Air Force Thunderbirds narrator. But, Debbie, this is really the headlining act, if you will. And, you know, the Thunderbirds bring a lot to this show.
Yeah, that's right. The precision demonstration of the F-16 Fighting Falcon and sharply choreographed ground ceremony will showcase the pride and professionalism of America's airmen.
Yeah, as the Thunderbirds, they're going to cut through the skies. They're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff. Colonel Anderley, the commander of the 388th, he told us, hey, that's my favorite airplane, just the maneuverability.
Right.
We're going to see all of that. They're going to be wingtip to wingtip for a large portion of the show.
Yeah, 2 solo pilots have the privilege of showcasing the maximum capabilities of the F-16 with their very own precision routine. That is cool.
Yeah, so they fly in a 4-ship and then a 2-ship, and then they go at some points together, all 6. And so really they're the Air Force's ambassadors in blue, a huge recruiting tool for the Air Force.
Show after show, year after year, they are one of the Air Force's premier recruiting tools, and no doubt we know why. They're also world-renowned goodwill ambassadors.
Yeah, I mean, just 75 years of history for the Air Force, and, you know, the nation, the Air Force Thunderbirds. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I got to ask, Debbie, have you ever seen the Thunderbirds live?
I have seen the Thunderbirds live, yes, growing up in Utah. Now, I was just looking up a few facts, like, do the Thunderbirds fight in combat? And this says the squadron's F-16s are only slightly modified for air demos and can be made combat ready within 72 hours. According to the Air Force, the Thunderbirds F-16s still have all the capabilities of any other combat ready fighter.
Yeah, so the Thunderbirds based out of Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, part of the 57th Fighter Wing. And, you know, any of these pilots could be called up depending on our nation's needs. But here they are out here recruiting the next generation of airmen and guardians as you get a look at the crowd trying to get in. So got some big old camera lenses out there,
They
right?
sure do. Now, what I thought was really profound that we were hearing is Beowulf, who is the pilot of the F-35 that we've been seeing out here today. She is not just a show pilot. She is an excellent, skilled, ready trained for air combat if needed. She's. We were told that she could be deployed at any given time. This is kind of just when she gets to show off and show what the plane is capable of. But I thought that was really important to mention that.
Yeah, all these airmen and pilots with the Thunderbirds selected, really best of the best in the Air Force, and a true honor to represent as the ambassadors in blue, and perform this mission. But they could seamlessly rotate back in and do the Air Force's mission to fly, fight, and win. So pretty cool stuff here, and can't wait to see this demonstration that should be around a 35-minute actual air routine. We talked with Lieutenant Colonel Ryan Yingling, the operations officer, Thunderbird number 7, this morning when Matt was here, and you could just sense how honored all of these pilots are to not only fly for the Thunderbirds, but just in general for the Air Force.
Yeah, no, it is very cool. What an honor that they have gotten to this point in their career, and what an amazing moment when they get to go and do this show, which is always a crowd pleaser, always has to be perfectly precise as they get out, and still in a plane that we were told could head over to combat at any time.
Yeah, so these are the F-16s with the Block 52 engine, as Colonel Anderley told us, the big engine. Right. So, capable of breaking the sound barrier. So excited to see that. And we're going to see a lot of aerobatics that there's only Debbie, that's really what's so unique about this. There's only a fraction of people in really the world who could pull off the stunts that the Air Force Thunderbirds are able to do.
Right. Highlight of this show for sure, as we get to watch them and their half an hour do we call it aerobatics? What do we call it as they head out there?
Yeah, I mean,
it's one way. It seems diluted.
There's aerobatics. I mean, they're showing the F-16's capability. They're demonstrating American air power and resolve. I mean, just so many different things. And, not to be understated, but we've talked about it quite a bit today, but just recruiting the next generation of airmen and guardians.
Yeah, because I got to say, if I was joining the Air Force, I probably wouldn't want to fly an F-35 or be part of the Thunderbirds. I mean, I guess that's probably what everyone wants, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, how can you not come to the air show and be, inspired to serve, after you watch this show?
Right. So they're getting ready, and really, even look as they're walking, as each person walks, it is all so perfectly choreographed. And this happens long before they get in the air. Even the pomp and circumstance of them getting in position and having the routine and the schedule that they have as they help each other into the planes, as they get ready, as they stand at alert right there on the tarmac.
Yeah, so, this is kind of the culmination, this end part, the actual show, right? They actually train all off season, so like over the winter months, and they actually go, a lot of people don't know this, they actually go spend a week or two with the Navy's Blue Angels team, and they train together and learn from each other to help tweak their shows. So that's pretty cool too, right?
No, it is very cool. And every move they make, every thought that they make while they're in that airplane, I mean, what an aircraft, number one, to be flying in, and then number two, to be with that team that you're flying with, making sure everyone is perfectly in sync and perfectly on their game.
Yeah, that joint training with the Thunderbirds really reflects today's operational environment in the Department of Defense. We operate increasingly in joint environments, especially in theater, supporting combatant commanders around the world. So pretty cool. Oh, guess what? They're firing it up. I know. I could see it. Debbie's face just got really excited.
Yeah.
She did. They are firing up those engines. So we should be shifting to the narrator for the Air Force Thunderbirds soon. We'll see if we get that sound. But that's a great show from the Air Force Thunderbirds, but they're getting ready to taxi out. And another unique thing about the Thunderbirds, Debbie, that I don't think a lot of people know is before a typical Air Force pilot, when they show up to go fly a sortie, they meet the crew chief on the ground, and the pilot themselves will do a walk around of the aircraft, checking things like structural integrity and different aspects of the aircraft before they take off. But what's unique about the Thunderbirds is the pilots, when they come out, they just get right up on the ladder and jump in that jet, and that goes to the trust, knowing that these are the best crew chiefs in the world. And so it just really demonstrates that commitment to excellence that we've heard all day. One of the Air Force's core values, there's 3 core values in the Air Force: integrity first, excellence in all we do, and all those things matter. So just seeing that on full display here today as the Air Force pilot gets into a plane where typically at most Air Force bases they'll do a walk around to the plane, and not that they don't trust their crew chiefs, obviously, but it's just a tenet of the Thunderbirds.
So the Thunderbirds perform precision aerial maneuvers demonstrating the capabilities of Air Force high-performance aircraft to people throughout the world, and for us here today. The squadron exhibits the professional qualities the Air Force develops in the people who fly, maintain, and support these aircraft.
Yeah, I mean, just incredible what they can do in the air. And, the Thunderbirds, part of the Air Combat Command, but there's 8 pilots and 4 support officers, so 12 officers in total, but over 130 enlisted personnel in 25 different career fields. I mean, just really an expansive operation.
So what we will see over the next 30 minutes is a demonstration, a mix of formation flying and solo routines. The 4 aircraft diamond formation demonstrates the training and precision of Air Force pilots, while the solo aircraft highlight the maximum capabilities of the F-16.
Yeah. As you see some of that precision demonstration just by the ground crew. I mean, look at the pride in professionals and how sharp even the ground movement is.
And this just seems synonymous with patriotism, Independence Day, as we get ready to celebrate over the next couple of weeks. And what a way to kick things off here this afternoon.
I don't know about you, Debbie, but I'm thinking back, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should go back and be a Thunderbirds pilot.
You should do it.
This seems pretty cool. Wow.
This squadron will perform about 75 demonstrations each year, and more than 300 million people in all 50 states and 58 foreign countries have seen the red, white, and blue jets in more than 4,000 aerial demonstrations.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we haven't talked about, but that distinctive Air Force Thunderbirds, and even the way their logo's painted underneath the jet, so when they fly overhead, I mean, it is very distinctive. Like, if you see a Thunderbird jet, you're like, oh, the Thunderbirds
Yeah,
are
you
here.
definitely know.
Yeah.
The Thunderbirds were officially activated in 1953. The first aircraft was the straight-winged F-84G Thunderjet, a combat fighter bomber that had seen action in Korea.
Yep. Yeah, they've actually changed planes a few times throughout their history, but they've been flying this F-16D model for quite a little while now. Getting great close-ups there. You see the crew chief unchalking the wheels as they get ready to taxi out. But every move of this event is actually choreographed and scripted. They talked about it earlier. They got inspiration from Disney.
Right.
Always tweaking the show. So every time you come out to see the Thunderbirds, you haven't seen the new show. It's something different.
Right. Which that's exciting.
Yeah. Makes it unique. Whether you've seen the Thunderbirds, 5 times or if this is your first time, it's going to be a great show.
The Thunderbirds made their television history in 2003 while celebrating their 50th anniversary. The commander leader started the Coca-Cola 600 by broadcasting live from Thunderbird number 1 as he said, "Gentlemen, start your engines."
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the Thunderbirds, you see them all the time, right? They do Super Bowl flyovers. My commander, actually, in Air Education Training Command, my former commander, went out to Daytona and the Daytona 500 about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and supported that event with the Thunderbirds, and that was really awesome.
That is.
And, with that salute, they're about ready to taxi out. So we are, again, moments away from seeing the Thunderbirds fly across the skies here in Utah.
And what an absolute privilege to have this right here in our state. Wow. So beautiful. And even now the formation begins.
Yeah. Again, everything has a purpose, right? Like, just like every military operation, every single thing is done for a particular reason. And obviously, this looks pretty cool.
And you're right, it was 1983 that the Thunderbirds started using the F-16.
Yep. Yeah.
It's probably about when you started, right?
Not
quite.
Debbie over here dating me a little bit.
The 80s seemed like 20 years ago.
I was in the Air Force in 1989.
Okay.
So, but, yeah. Very cool. So those off to the right of our broadcast position, taxi down the two solo.
Yes. Oh, okay. That's what that is. All right. Yeah, they both went opposite directions.
So we're going to throw it out to the Air Force Thunderbirds narrator to take you through the rest of the show, and we'll see you on the backside. I can't wait.
The Thunderbird team is comprised of proud professionals who are motivated by a passion for service and a commitment to excellence. It all started in 1953 with the F-84 Thunderjet. In just 6 days, the first Thunderbird team crafted a demonstration that would shape the future of military jet demonstration teams for years to come. The Thunderbirds became the first supersonic capable jet demo team in 1956 with the transition to the F-100 Super Sabre. In the early years, flying at supersonic speeds and creating a sonic boom was an accepted way to begin the demonstration. While supersonic flight is now prohibited, the Thunderbird tradition of showcasing America's frontline fighter aircraft and representing the pride, precision, and professionalism of all of our 697,000 airmen continues today in the current team you see before you. With 28 different Air Force career fields, this team is a diverse group of exceptional airmen from all across this great nation who have committed to a mission greater than themselves. Each Thunderbird is filled with an intense passion, a sense of pride and purpose that represents the agile combat capability of your United States Air Force. Thunderbirds have been showcasing Americans what our Air Force can do for the past 69 years. Since 1953, not a single demonstration has been canceled due to a maintenance problem. Now, please join me in thanking the true heroes of our team and of the United States Air Force, our maintenance and support professionals. Right now, the pilots are completing some pre-flight checks at the end of the runway, and once they are ready, they will take to the skies. Soon you will hear Thunderbird 1 command the pilots to run up their engines as they accelerate down the runway from your right to your left. Lieutenant Colonel Elliott will then demonstrate the superior thrust-to-weight ratio of the F-16 by immediately pulling the nose up into the vertical, performing the diamond loop on takeoff. As the planes lift off the ground, watch for our slot pilot, Major Zane Taylor. He'll move quickly from the right wing into the slot position, forming the famous Thunderbird Diamond. Following the Diamond takeoff, you will see Thunderbirds 5 and 6 raise their landing gear in formation. Major Oliver will immediately pull 60 degrees into the vertical and perform a split S reversing his direction while still over the runway. This is all while Captain Katz executes an immediate 360-degree aileron roll at low altitude.
Number 1 is ready for takeoff, runway 32. Boss wind 3207, you're clear for takeoff, runway 32, it's showtime! Number 1 is clear for takeoff, runway 32, Thunderbirds, let's run them up!
And now, Utah, stand tall as America's ambassadors in blue open with a tribute to the greatest nation on earth, America's own, your 2022 United States Air Force Air Demonstration Squadron, led by Lieutenant Colonel Justin Elliott, known to all the world as the Thunderbird! In 1954, the first solo pilot made their debut on the Thunderbirds, and in 1962, the opposing solo was added. Now check 6 and welcome our current solo pilots, Thunderbird 5 Major Kyle Oliver and Thunderbird 6 Captain Daniel Katz, as they approach from behind and overhead to execute the ever-inspiring crossover break. Thunderbird fans, have your cameras ready for a picture of formation flying at its finest as the diamond is approaching from the right at a mere 18 inches apart for your 2022 diamond. Pass in review. Now watch from your left as Thunderbird 5 displays the historic Thunderbird emblem on the bottom of his aircraft with the knife edge pass. The original Thunderbird Diamond was led by Major Dick Catledge, with twin captains Buck and Bill Patillo as wingmen and Captain Kanaga as the slot pilot. Now look in front and to your left as the current Thunderbird Diamond maintains precise formation position in the Diamond Roll. As we fly for you today, we are proud to represent America's Air Force. We are the most lethal Air Force on the planet. Now look back and to the right and find Thunderbirds 5 and 6 teamed up, this time to create a mirror image in their trademark Calypso Pass. Ladies and gentlemen, the Diamond is approaching from behind and to your left in the tight echelon formation. Watch as 1 becomes 4 with the echelon pass in review. Surprise! Hill Air Force Base. That was Thunderbird 6 sneaking up on you with the sound of freedom. Now from your left, watch as our lead solo, Major Oliver, maintains level flight while performing the challenging slow roll. Inbound from the right, Captain Katz will demonstrate the extraordinary roll performance of the F-16 with 4 consecutive aileron rolls. The Diamond is now approaching from the right. This is a rare opportunity to go inside the cockpit of Thunderbird 1 as Lieutenant Colonel Justin Elliott calls for the 4 Diamond pilots to perform simultaneous aileron rolls in close formation.
Off, ready, now, and look.
From your right, Major Oliver, and from your left, Captain Katz, inbound for show center at a closing speed of nearly 1,000 miles per hour. Before passing, they'll bank sharply, narrowly avoiding each other for the opposing knife edge pass. Approaching ahead and to your left, the Thunderbirds are in the challenging trail formation, with each wingman flying just a few feet from the aircraft in front of him. On command, watch as they smoothly transition back to the Thunderbird Diamond. Our 2 solo pilots have positioned themselves on opposite ends of the show line to cross at show center for the inverted pass. A difficult maneuver, made even more challenging since Thunderbird 5 is approaching upside down. From directly in front, the Diamond pilots are once again in trail formation. As they pull straight up into the vertical, you'll see the wingmen move back into the Thunderbird Diamond formation. While the maneuvers you're watching today are in tight formation and at low altitude, they require the same level of concentration and discipline that every Air Force pilot must employ, whether flying combat missions over hostile territory or flying in support of humanitarian efforts in adverse conditions. Now watch as Thunderbird 5 completes his rejoin with the Diamond to perform the low bomb burst. Supersonic speeds are critical in chasing down the enemy. Slow speed handling is just as important in aerial combat. Watch from the right as our California native Captain Katz goes from low and slow to a full afterburner muscle climb. Watch as Thunderbird 5 rejoins with the Diamond to the right as this familiar formation approaches to perform the 5-card loop. Now, from your left, Captain Katz will demonstrate the exceptional climbing performance of the F-16 as he climbs 3 miles straight up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Thunderbirds would like to dedicate this next pass to all the families here today whose loved ones are deployed around the globe in defense of our freedoms. Now watch as Thunderbird 6 demonstrates the raw power and tight turn performance of the F-16 with a maximum performance turn followed by a half cubic 8. Look behind and to your right for precision flying under G with the Diamond Burner 360. As our two solo pilots, Thunderbirds 5 and 6, rejoin with the Diamond to form the Thunderbird Delta formation, we would like to take a moment to honor those veterans in the crowd today whose service and sacrifice have given us the freedoms that we greatly cherish. Now watch as Lieutenant Colonel Elliott repositions the Delta formation for the Delta roll. As you take time to watch the precision required to maneuver 6 F-16s as one formation, let that serve as a reminder of not just the teamwork, but also the dedication and commitment that makes our team and the United States Air Force the most capable and credible force on the planet. As the Delta soars above, we are proud to represent the 66,000 airmen who are deployed around the world in defense of our freedoms. While our airmen, guardians, soldiers, sailors, coasties, and Marines risk their lives every day to fight for our democracy, it is the families that stay behind who are the silent heroes of our military. Their sacrifices do not go unrecognized, and we thank every mom, dad, husband, wife, son, and daughter who support their deployed military member each day while they fight to keep our own country free. Now, from the right, watch the formation of 6 F-16s precisely maneuver, showcasing teamwork at its finest for the loop. Delta repositions for the Delta burst, the flying skill and grace you see evolves from 69 years of technical training and thousands of hours of practice and employment. Every airman who wears the Thunderbird uniform is a military member first, highly trained in a professional Air Force skill. As Airmen First, Thunderbirds use years of on-the-job training to provide consistent and credible global vigilance, global reach, and global power, giving a critical edge to today's joint warfighting and coalition teams. Wherever they have been before and wherever they go after their time on the team, the Thunderbirds are Airmen First and Airmen Always, faithfully and professionally representing their brothers and sisters in arms who are providing unrivaled air, space, and cyber dominance around the globe. Now approaching from directly in front, your 2022 Thunderbirds and the inspirational Delta Burst. Our solo pilots are approaching for their final high-speed head-on pass. As they cross at show center, watch for them to climb sharply, then reverse course in a split S maneuver to cross again with a knife-edge pass. Let's go inside the cockpit and listen as they execute this breathtaking maneuver. Approaches for the high bomb burst. As your Thunderbirds come into land, we hope you have found today's performance inspirational. It is the culmination of hundreds of hours of training and preparation, representing the unparalleled devotion to duty of every combat airman in your Air Force. We encourage those young people in the audience today to dream big, choose integrity, to serve their communities and families, and surround themselves with excellence. All of us here in the Thunderbird family would like to thank you for your continued support of the United States military and the Air Force. It has been our great honor to represent America's Airmen with our performance today. The Thunderbirds and officers and enlisted representatives are planning on coming forward to sign some autographs and talk about the great opportunities that exist in today's Air Force. This will take place right on the crowd line, right to the right of the media tent. We hope you'll stick around, give us the opportunity to meet you, sign some autographs, take some selfies, and let us answer any questions you may have about serving this great nation. Please visit us at airforce.com/Thunderbirds or follow us on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at AF Thunderbirds. Now I would like to take some time to recognize some of the men and women who made it happen. It is my pleasure to introduce you to an important group that represents all of our Thunderbird enlisted professionals. In the center is our line chief from Islamorada, Florida, Tech Sergeant Peyton Holmes. Crew Chief Thunderbird 1 from Kalamazoo, Michigan, Tech Sergeant Xavier Knapp. Assistant Crew Chief Thunderbird 1 from Richmond, Virginia, Staff Sergeant Brandon Cooper. Crew Chief Thunderbird 2 from Elizabeth, New Jersey, Staff Sergeant Edward Santana Acosta. Assistant Crew Chief Thunderbird 2 from Bronx, New York, Staff Sergeant Joshua Seitter. Crew Chief Thunderbird 3 from Palmdale, California, Staff Sergeant Takanobu Todd. Assistant Crew Chief Thunderbird 3 from Bronx, New York, Staff Sergeant Andrew Reyes. Crew Chief Thunderbird 4 from South Kenosha, Wisconsin, Staff Sergeant Austin Guerra. Assistant Crew Chief Thunderbird 4 from Ciales, Puerto Rico, Staff Sergeant Kenneth Colon Otero. Crew Chief Thunderbird 5 from Mainstay, Michigan, Staff Sergeant Hayden Cotton. Assistant Crew
And
Chief
the
Thunderbird
United
5
States Air Force Thunderbirds. What a show.
What a show. That was absolutely incredible. You said something that really did happen. You said you have to watch out because they're going to get sneaky. And there were a couple of times that all of a sudden those two pilots came through, and it's so loud you can just feel it. It's amazing, but I don't think anyone was expecting it.
I did my best to pre-warn you.
Yes, you did.
Without giving too much away.
Right. Now, and you said that this is a different show all the time. They rework the choreography.
Constantly tweaking. So, you know what? If you've seen the Thunderbirds, at two other air shows, what you saw today was going to be a little bit different.
Yeah, and it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah,
quite frankly, it's
doesn't.
just so entertaining. And what I love about it is that it is one of those things where we're doing this trick because we can. Yeah, it's just
because
like,
we're the world's greatest Air Force and fighter pilots.
Right,
yeah.
Right. You can definitely see that. We've used the word so many times today, precision and exactness. And that's when you just see that at its peak.
Yeah, and you see the Thunderbirds taxiing into the, I would definitely say, approval of the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Just a lot of wide eyes and open mouths at the end of that performance. So day one of the Warriors over the Wasatch Air Show is in the books, but don't fret. We have a second day.
Right.
We will be live with you all day tomorrow starting around 9:44 a.m.
Around 9:44.
Yeah.
Not 9:45.
Yeah. Get it at 9:44. We'll have a pre-show for you.
Yes.
But make sure you tune in on the KSL5 TV app as well as the Hill Air Force Facebook page. But before we log off, Debbie, it's been a world of fun.
Oh.
What did you think?
You know what? It exceeded my expectations. I always remembered loving this as a kid. I haven't really been in my adult life, and it's that much better. And I think part of it is you just appreciate so much what they're doing. You appreciate what the Air Force does for the country, and just to see everyone here out supporting them today. I mean, really in mass numbers. It's fun.
So it's been a great day. For Matt Johnson, Debbie Worthen, I'm Dan Hawkins, our entire outstanding 2nd Audiovisual Squadron crew. We'll talk to you tomorrow from the great Utah Air Show. Good night, everybody.